dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again. Here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video doing some predictions on what I think we're going to see in the first season of the new AMC spin-off TV series for The Walking Dead called Fear the Walking Dead. Okay, so wanted to go ahead and give my thoughts on this one. A few people asked me to kind of expand, talk a little bit more about Fear the Walking Dead, what I think we're going to see, what's going on, what I think about it so far. Did the review for the trailer. If you guys haven't seen it's like a teaser, really. I'll put it in the description below. It's cool. It gives us kind of a feel of the series. You can see this zombies in like a long, tunnel type deal. And of course, as we know, that the Walking Dead spinoff, Fear the Walking Dead, is going to be in LA. So it should be quite a bit different from the original series. In addition to that, we're also going to be seeing it at the start. So, like even before, really, if you look at the trailer, it's like prior to the zombie apocalypse going just worldwide. The newscaster is like there's illness going around, and stay in your homes. Stay in the house, Carl. So you've got LA, of course, heavily populated type of area, and we do have some descriptions of our lead characters, and we'll go over them here so we can do some predictions. What we do know is that the first season is going to be 6 episodes, so I think it's going to be somewhat similar to the original Walking Dead's initial season, where we had 6 episodes. We had the story with Rick and finding Lori, finding Carl, and becoming part of a survivor group, of course, with Shane there as well too, banding together and them starting to consider, what they're going to do in terms of location. Are they going to try to find a better place to survive? Are they just going to stay camped out in the woods or something of the sort? So these kinds of initial zombie apocalypse questions. So the zombie apocalypse hits, and you've got some survivors there. They're starting to figure out what's going on. They're starting to see that the whole place has gone into just chaos, and kind of deciding, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? And how are we going to survive? What are we going to do? So I think that's probably what we're going to see for the first season of Fear the Walking Dead is getting to know. Of course, there's always the character concentration, and I'm sure they're going to stick with that, where in the spinoff we still have kind of that character development type concentration. And in the beginning, of course, everybody is normalized, regular life. Certainly not prepared for a zombie apocalypse. And then as it happens kind of out of nowhere, looking to protect themselves, looking to protect the ones they care about and love, and probably forming a quick survivor group pretty fast, starting to consider, where should we go? LA is a different animal than King County, right? With that, you can in the original Walking Dead, you go camping. You can set up like a campsite. You can try to go to. They were going to Fort Benning? That they were going to try to go to. Of course, eventually finding Herschel's farm. You got farmland. You got that kind of stuff. They don't have any of those luxuries in LA. LA is like oh man. And even getting out of the city would be insane too. So, we may see the surviving group kind of hunker down and seal off a place. The original, idea for The Walking Dead was that they were going to go to a high school. So will we see that maybe in the spinoff series? We do know that, we have some teachers here. Sean Cabrera is our lead male, Latino male in his early 40s. This is the description. Sean is a good man, a teacher, trying to do right by everyone in his life. Then you have his son, Cody Cabrera. It says, Sean's whip-smart and rebellious teenage son, known as the angriest kid in town, or at least this is the name when they posted out the initial casting call. Then we have Nancy Tompkins, the female lead, a 30-something single mom to 2 kids. Nancy looks like the girl next door, but there's an edge to her. So, now she, of course, as we know, she's going to be played by Kim Dickens. And I would say for Kim, definitely check out Gone Girl. If you want to get an idea of, what she's going to be like in the series, just watch Gone Girl. She plays the detective in it, and man, she's fantastic in the movie. I mean, Gone Girl's it's an awesome movie. Every movie by David Fincher is awesome, pretty much. You can't really go wrong, with his movies, at least the ones that he has creative control over, and he creates himself, so to speak. All of his recent stuff, aside from when he first got started with, was it Alien 3? Pretty sure. So with her, Nancy Tompkins got 2 kids. Frank Delane's going to be playing Nick Tompkins, and Alicia Debnam Carey, for some reason she has 3 names, people with 3 names, plays Ashley Tompkins. So cool. So there's our casting in terms of who we know so far. Anybody else, we don't know. We have the casting call, but we don't know, who's going to be played by who and what we're going to see from which and what we can draw from that. But so, we get the idea first off, a teacher, maybe see a school, right? I think it makes sense. A teacher, possibly hunker down in a school, maybe a location, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. Kind of a prediction, so to speak, is not a bad prediction, I'd say, to see them at least in a high school or grade school, whatever grade he teaches, I'm not sure. Maybe high school would make the most sense. And kind of see that. I think that'd be cool because that's what Kirkman set out to do originally, and they never did it in the TV series. They found a prison instead, which, it has its own kind of cool, metaphoric properties to it, with them kind of feeling like, prisoners, safety behind bars, that whole idea. I think that's a cool idea too. So I'd like to see something like that, a high school in LA. I think that'd be cool if they were to stay there as a location. We've got Nancy Tompkins. I think she's going to be our standout from the series. I think even more Sean Cabrera is our lead male, but Nancy is our lead female. And because Kim Dickens, is so awesome. If you've seen Gone Girl, you know why they picked her. She could be a great character throughout the series. She could be like our, would it be different to have a lead female rather than a male? If Sean is killed off at some point, what would it be like to see her in charge or something? That'd be different. That'd be cool. And they do want to make it different from the original series. So I'm assuming here that Sean Cabrera is not a Rick clone, right? And I don't think he will be. I think Nancy might be our, she might be. That's a prediction there. She might be our kind of, main lead. So we'll see how that goes. 2 kids, of course. So will we see some big deaths in the first season? I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse and things are just breaking out. So I would think so. Nick Tompkins reads Nancy's screwed up teenage son. He's too old to stay home, too scared to flee. So with him, doesn't sound like a strong survivor, so maybe we could see some development there, or he could be a character that could be killed off pretty quickly. Ashley Tompkins, it's 2 kids. Do you really think she's going to last with 2 kids? Maybe one of them will bite the dust. We'll see how it goes. Maybe not first season, maybe first couple seasons, because we know season 2 has been confirmed too. Ashley Tompkins, Nancy's mostly level-headed teenage daughter. Her ambition is in direct proportion to her older brother's failures. She loves her mom, but it's time to get out of Dodge. She has dreams of leaving LA for Berkeley when the apocalypse strikes. So that's kind of cool. So she's got the idea that she wants to leave, right? Get out of LA. So maybe we could see that. We'll have to see what comes of that. This is just the initial casting call description. So again, all of this is hearsay basically. Then we have Matt, who is Ashley's jock boyfriend. Oh, he's so dead. Oh, he's dead. Oh, for sure. His boyfriends don't last, man. That's if we learn anything from Beth, boyfriends don't last. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm assuming he's a dead man for sure. Andrea Chapman. So we got another Andrea. This one says a somewhat wilted flower child, 40-something Andrea, who has retreated to the outskirts of the city to recover after a horrible marriage. So that's cool. Could we see like a reinvention of Andrea from the initial comic book series that never made it into the television series? She was kind of there, but not really. You know what I'm saying? That'd be cool if we see something like that. I think that'd be a good nod to fans. And art, it says here for art. The principal at the school, so this is another character. The principal at the school where both Sean and Nancy work, who has concerns about the bizarre outbreak featured on the local news. I'm thinking like Deanna, maybe. A Deanna type character. I don't think Art's going to make it either. Tobias, and again, these names could change, right, by the time they release the show. A wise, beyond his years, senior at the school who believes the outbreak is doomsday. It's got to be Daryl. No, I don't know. Something like that. Maybe we'll see. Probably a different weapon. I don't think anyone's gonna have a crossbow. To tell you the truth, I don't think so. Then Casper, Nick's drug dealing best friend. Oh, he's dead. Casper's not gonna make it. You deal drugs in a zombie apocalypse, man. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna make it. Just based on the description. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that's pretty much it for what I can read into in terms of the different characters in that and what the descriptions have been. Series looks good. As a prediction, will it be as good as the original Walking Dead? I'm going to say I don't think so. I don't think so. I'll be interested to see whether or not they stay in the city and just kind of fortify, or if they run and they try to get out. Either way, it should be really exciting. Should be really interesting to see the start of the zombie apocalypse and zombies that are not so decayed as we're used to now. One thing people always ask about, is it easier to kill zombies now than in season 1 of The Walking Dead? And I would say for sure, because the zombies are all decaying in their bodies, and even in the makeup and that, they do it in, they take, a lot of their effects, like Greg Nicotero and what he does, they look more and more dead all the time, more like skeletal. Like, remember the zombie that bit Bob in the water that was like just a skeleton, basically, pretty much. So, season 1 type, freshly turned muscle tissue still there, not decomposed as much. A lot more dangerous, I would say, than your later on zombies. So we'll see who survives, who gets killed off in the first season. I'm expecting at least a few deaths out of those, out of all those characters, as you would from a zombie apocalypse. Excited for it. Late summer 2015. No exact release date for the pilot, but can't wait to check out these 6 episodes, see what AMC has to bring us. And it'll answer kind of the question, is The Walking Dead kind of a one-hit wonder with the original series based on Robert Kirkman's comic book series, or is it something that AMC can establish as kind of like a regular show that they have that they're putting on, for a long term? They can always kind of have some kind of series like the survival horror zombie apocalypse series, and they may always have something like it. But we'll have to see. They certainly have the ability to get that started with the original Walking Dead. Will this series be a success, and will they be able to continue maybe making their own original, which this is their original stuff, not based on a comic book series or anything like that? Will they be able to continue with these in the future? I hope so, man. Definitely cool to see this when The Walking Dead's not on, and I am looking forward to it, but I don't think it will be as good as the original. I don't think the story of Rick Grimes will be kind of touched by any of these survivors, except Nancy Tompkins, I think, has a possibility because, Kim Dickens is such a great actress. And, that's pretty much all I got to say for in terms of predictions. I'm expecting it to be good, but not as good as the original. That said, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be quite as good. At least if it's decent, it will survive. It won't be killed off after the first 2 seasons. So I'll let you guys know as soon as we get more info, how many episodes season 2 is, and, we'll kind of, we'll go on from there once we get, the more we'll talk about. And I'm really excited. Can't wait to see Fear the Walking Dead. And of course, can't wait for the trailer for The Walking Dead Original Season 6. Awesome stuff. Anyway, if you guys like the video, please, you know what to do. Thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Please favorite it. And if you're new and you want to join the zombie herd, you want to subscribe, we're going to Alexandria. We're on our way. We're walking just as soon as I can get out of this damn chair. Bottom left, go ahead and click the subscribe. That's it for this one, guys. See you for the next one. As always, it's Trev saying peace.